Well, welcome via video to another edition of Something to Talk About. This has all become very, very strange, but the person right next to me, she's still Vaughn.
He's still Stuart.
So we are video chatting our show, and glad to be with you again. So Vaughn, good to see you.
Good to see you, Stuart.
You're
Trying to get
relaxing.
myself on this camera here.
You're relaxing out there on the veranda.
I am outside enjoying this beautiful weather here in Frisco today, trying to get my hair situated.
You're not a real poster girl for being sequestered, sitting out there on the patio by the pool in the sun. Looks like you're at a resort.
You know, I can't complain. There's my backyard. It's we got the pool, we've got the flower. You know, we did go get our flowers. So, you know, I go from the indoors to the outdoors, to the indoors to the outdoors. And today
Yeah,
happens to be a beautiful day to where we can be outside and take a walk and do whatever makes you happy to help pass the time, right?
yeah, and it's a short trip, and there's no traffic.
That's right. Exactly. Well, and also I have a house full right now. I have my family inside. Two of my kids are students, college student and actually a high school senior. So they're doing online schooling. And then my son is here with his girlfriend. They've been here for a couple weeks now, and they're working from home. And then, of course, Phil is working from home. So I said the other day, I had two in the dining room working. I had two doing schooling in the kitchen. I had Phil in his office. I texted my father and I said, my house has turned into WeWork.
Yes.
So everybody's inside right now, either schooling or working. And so I'm out on the patio where I can talk and, not disturb anybody. So
The first thing that comes to my mind that you can tell us about is that Elizabeth is a senior in high school, and
mhm.
6 months ago she was just looking forward to the end of her senior year and
Yeah.
graduation. The graduation ceremony and all that just got turned upside down. What is she going through now? Reaching the end of her high school career as far as like graduation and are they doing a virtual commencement or what's going on?
Well, all good questions. If you had asked me about her mood a few weeks ago, it would not have been where she is today. She's come she's come to terms with a lot of it. She's still extremely disappointed, obviously, but she's making the best of it. Our school district anyway, has not yet canceled everything. They've canceled some things. Our prom
Okay.
was canceled. Our senior prom was to be this coming weekend. That has been canceled. But there's talk of them changing the venue and changing the date and whatnot and rescheduling, but we don't know. Graduation, the ceremony itself, has also not yet been canceled. It most likely will be. And
On
so
hold.
they're discussing different different ways to go about having these seniors graduate and go through the act of graduating, whether that be some kind of outdoor function. We don't know yet. So, obviously we are all waiting to hear what Abbott's going to say when he comes out later this week to talk. That will, I'm sure, determine a lot of the decisions that they need to make moving forward. But, we've made it as really as good as we can around here for Elizabeth. Um, we've taken pictures of her, the cap and gown out here, and we've had, her brother and sister are here, and we've celebrated her as much as we can. But again, and listen, I have never. You and I have done a show before on modern technology and how we felt that in some cases it's being abused with texting and social media and all of that. Well, I've never been more thankful for it during this time
Right.
because she has been able to stay very well connected, as I have and you have, with family and friends afar. And with Zoom now, we've been getting together, and she's so she has seen her friends and stayed connected to her friends. I mean, she's extremely disappointed, but it is what it is. And so we're just making the best of it over here.
Well, the upside to this is a memory that 10 years, 20 years from now, or when she gets married, she can go back and tell her family and her friends, back when I graduated high school, this is how we did it, because we were sequestered. We were under a pandemic alert. And so we had to modify our lives. I mean, I've been in these video conferences and meetings and everything for the last few weeks. And the upside is you can just sit here in the comfort of your own home and be in your pajamas if you want, but it kind of beats having to get in the car and drive and be someplace in order to do this. So there's going to be some long-lasting memories going along with all of this. And Elizabeth and her class will all look back about and say, you remember when we had to go through this our senior year?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to look at the bright side of all of this too.
Absolutely.
It's inconvenience, but the social media has allowed us to make a convenience out of an inconvenience.
Absolutely. And again, we're hoping that a lot of these events will just be kind of postponed and revamped in some way. Right. But you're right. Moving forward, I mean, certainly being in the class of 2020, whether you're graduating from high school or college, and I know even the college kids, they're experiencing. Some of them were well into their job interviews, and
sure.
I know one story in particular where a young woman was going on like her 5th interview and was about ready to, land that job, and their company went on a hiring freeze. And so a lot of these kids, I know some were going off to do internships and whatnot. Everybody has a story. Everybody has something that somehow how it's affecting them personally. But you're right. The bottom line is, whatever your story, whatever your circumstances, however it's affecting you, whether you're a senior or not, I mean, whether you're a student or a young professional or whoever you are, I mean, you got to try to make the best of it. And like you said, be positive and, try to look at the bright side, the silver lining. And so, yeah, moving forward, Elizabeth will forever be the class of 2020. And, right. I'm hoping that this experience, is building character in ways that right now we don't even really know. And down the road, she'll revisit it. And so it's, but we are all together, like you said, and we're blessed in many ways, and crazy times for sure.
That's kind of one of the things that I want all of our viewers to take away, and that is that these experiences today are going to be the memories tomorrow. We will look back on this. I don't doubt that within the next few months you're going to be able to walk into the stores and find T-shirts that say "I survived COVID-19." And people will remember all of that we've gone through it, and we'll be sharing stories of what we did and how we did it through all of that time. And just what we're doing, these video talks and video conferencing, we'll go back and hopefully bring those up and rewatch them at a later date. I don't doubt that the young people today are looking at this and seeing this as maybe another opportunity for the future. I know a lot of corporations right now, because they have been forced for a lot of their people to work from home, they are video conferencing. And our daughter is with United Airlines, and they're already talking about the fact that when this is over, there's a lot of corporations that are going to say, maybe we don't have to go back to flying our executives all over the country for meetings, because we have all of these new sites for doing all this video conferencing, and we'll end up saving money in the long run.
Absolutely. Yep.
This is going to have a ripple effect. I think it's still going to continue to impact a lot of small, medium, and large corporations.
Yeah.
Forward.
I agree. I think so too. I think ways are going to change, and I think too. Things people are kind of getting into new and different habits. I think some of these habits that we have been forced into creating might stick. I think I know that I'm doing a lot of online pickup for my groceries. I'm just trying. I mean, I still go to the grocery store as needed, but I'm trying to do my part and be responsible and not be in the stores, not only to keep myself being from around other people, but also the employees of the store, I think, greatly appreciate if we all try to keep the store from being too crowded, because they're in there and they don't have a choice. They're working. So this whole online delivery has worked for me, and I've gotten my parents set up on it as well. But I have to tell you, it's turned out to be a very convenient way of shopping. And I think moving forward, that might be something else that, like, even my parents who are older might continue to do. I just think, and that's just one example of so much that they're asking us to do right now that just makes sense. And we might want to continue some of these new habits just to be responsible, considerate citizens moving forward. There are a lot of, I mean, I could go on and on about all the things, but, I mean, there's been even talk about how our water systems are cleaner. The environment is, I mean, there's not as, obviously the air travel is down, pollution. Right. So if you really want to dig deep into this quarantine, kind of what we're in, look to see what we might want to continue doing moving forward in terms of our new behavior.
Yeah, and I think it kind of works both ways, because not only are we realizing that we can either order meals and have them delivered to our homes, or we call ahead, order, and then just get in the car, go and pick up curbside. And when it's all over, I tell you, as soon as this whole thing is over and they lift this, I'm going to take my wife out for a nice dinner in a restaurant with servers and everything, just to go back and experience that. But we've learned two things: that when you're sequestered at home, you still can take advantage of your fast food takeout, but you also learn how to cook in the house, how to have a nice pasta dinner, how to grill chicken on the back patio and have with the grilled vegetables and have fresh salads. And so your ordering out becomes just an occasional thing, and you're more in the house.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And what is that? That's really getting back to basics, isn't it? It's getting back to the things that you did many, many years ago, and you're just starting to re-experience that. And I think that's a good thing.
Oh, absolutely.
We're experiencing all kinds of stuff now. I ordered online some jigsaw puzzles and got some jigsaw puzzles in. And now on the dining room table, every time we walk by the dining room table, we just look and we find a piece or two and put it in. I haven't done a jigsaw puzzle since I was a kid, or I should say, when my grandson was small, we'd go out and get those 16-piece jigsaw puzzles to help him put the animals in the right place and put it all.
Yeah.
Now 500 pieces. But it's going back to doing things that you used to do. Board games. Instead of sitting there with the iPad and playing solitaire by yourself, you get out a deck of cards and you start playing cards again.
Yep.
So that's giving us the opportunity to revisit the past.
Absolutely. I'm not a puzzle person. They drive me crazy. I'm the one who's like, and my parents are big. They have a mountain house, and they always have a puzzle going there, even at their house in Houston. But they always have a puzzle going on the dining room table. And like whoever wants to, if you're having a cup of coffee in the morning or a glass of wine in the evening or whatever, you can sit down and work on the puzzle. Occasionally I'll sit down and work on the puzzle, but I'm the one who's like cramming a piece in, just shoving it in. And if I can get it to squeeze in there.
Are you the person that's sitting there with the little scissors and trimming it? Because I'm going to make that piece fit one way or the other.
Oh, good. I love a lot of things. Like, you know me, I love to read. I like to, arts and crafts. But puzzles just drive me crazy. I just don't have the patience. But
you know what you need? There's an app. You can do a jigsaw puzzle app on your phone. And what you do is when you find the puzzle, you have a choice. Okay. Do I want to do this puzzle with 8 pieces or with 50 pieces?
8.
100 pieces? That's what I'm saying. So you would probably get the puzzle and say, okay, I'll do this in 4 pieces. Maybe I'll go to 8.
Yeah.
And you can solve it in like 30 seconds.
That's me. I'm the 8 piece. I think my parents have 1,000 piece going right now. I don't know. Crazy. But I agree with you. We've like I said, I've had a house full here. The kids are here and all, and we have game night almost every night, which is a good thing and not so much a good thing because some games can trigger some family friction. We're when it comes to our board games, we can get a little competitive. But we're having fun and doing, but yeah, no, I mean, definitely this has forced everybody. I'm sharing recipes with my friends, because we're trying new recipes because we're all like feeding your meals 3 times a day, whatever.
Right.
Just we were all forced into a kind of a different lifestyle. And so, in the beginning, I was like cleaning out a lot of closets and doing things like that. I walk every day, which I always did, but more so now. And I don't know, just really embracing my home. My home, my property, my neighborhood, because that's where I am right now, and I have a whole new appreciation for it. And so yeah, no, I think that a lot of our new lifestyle will continue. Now, I agree with you when we all feel we're all told that we can go on and move forward with some sense of normalcy. I would like to go to a restaurant. I think it's going to be weird, right? The first time we all go back into a public place and sit next to people, it's going to be kind of weird, right? I don't know.
Right. Where you don't really have to be 6 feet away from the next table. You nod at the people that are sitting right next to you.
Yeah,
it will feel strange. I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, the first time we're given that green light, which I don't know when that will be, but Phil was even talking about, we don't know really what sporting organizations are going to do. I mean, will we have the NFL again? Will we? I don't know.
Well, they're talking about maybe by midsummer that the baseball might be back in the season. And the question is going to be, are people going to flock back and fill up those stadiums and to watch their ball games live, or are they still going to be a little apprehensive about doing it? We're going to have that. It isn't going to be just from black to white. There's going to be a lot of gray in between. The people are still going to be a little apprehensive. The other thing is, are we still going to be a little more conscious about the hand sanitizer? We still going to use that, and are we still going to be a little bit aware of all the things that we're touching when we go into the stores? Is it going to open up a little new thought process for all of us?
I think it will, for sure. And I've always been a big hand washer, but I think moving forward, at least in the short term, people will very much continue that practice of,
I think you're right,
being more mindful of what they're touching, washing their hands more, sneezing and coughing, And I think that's a good thing. I think that those are habits that we should continue. That's just, I mean, before all this, it would drive me crazy when somebody would just cough or sneeze. Everybody needs to watch that video of a sneeze and how far it can go and how long it can linger in a room. And I think if you watch that, you have a mental then picture of really. So, our kids are taught, I substitute teach. Our kids are taught at a very young age. Our generation, not so much, but they all sneeze into their shirts, not even into your arm. Get into your shirt, whatever. Our kids are taught that very young, and I think we adults now are whoever didn't do it before, I think will do it, and that's a good thing. I think some of these habits should continue. But I think it's going to also be in terms of like how comfortable people are once they give us the green light. I think it will be slow coming out of the gate. I really do. I think you're going to have a lot of people very apprehensive in even putting themselves in a certain setting. And, I think also what will come in time is if we can get the vaccine and the treatment, some better way to manage the virus should you get it, people then will, and that's going to be a long way out. So I think it's going to take some time, but I think it'll be slow. But then, I've been told it's going to be kind of like the flu, where eventually we'll be able to manage it without so much fear.
I'm also curious if how long it's going to take. Are we going to continue to do the elbow bump or the fist bump, and how long it's going to take for people to be comfortable with shaking hands again? Because it's been something we've been told that's the number one way of transmitting some of those germs is hand to hand. So is this getting into our psyche and now telling us that maybe we should just be nodding and fist bumping or so and avoiding handshakes again? It's going to be interesting. One of the funny things I saw posted was somebody posted, if you think that toilet paper was a controversy, just wait until 30 million people want to call up to make a hair appointment.
Yeah.
because as soon as this is lifted and they open up the nail salons and the barbershops and everything, everybody's going to want, I got to get in there and get a haircut.
I know. Well, my neighbor cut Phil's hair for me weeks ago. I got to get out of the sun. I'm getting a headache.
Okay.
I'm walking. I'm like, I was sitting in the wrong.
I'm glad it's the sun and not the conversation.
Yeah, I'm getting a headache. So yeah, no, I know. Well, the whole toilet paper thing is just beyond me. I just don't get that at all. And like Cottonelle even came out with a commercial or something, like, I don't know, must have been the CEO or somebody. He's like, there's not a problem. We are making toilet paper. We have enough toilet paper. We're going to continue to supply you with toilet paper. Just buy what you need, and I think he's at the end of it, it said something like hashtag, share a square or something like that. But I was talking to one of the managers at the grocery store about it, and I said, what is going on with the toilet paper? And he said, I don't know. He said, I think it's just a psychological, it started out as a psychological thing, and then just, people then, it became forbidden fruit. And everybody was kind of like, oh, there's no toilet paper. We better grab it. We better, hoard it. I don't know. I think
not toilet paper, but it was like water. I mean, the bottled water, small bottles up to the gallon jugs, just disappeared. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, you're going to be sequestered in your home. You got a faucet in every bathroom and kitchen, and you've got all the water that you really need. Almost everybody's got a refrigerator now that has filtered water, but people had this thing about going to the stores and buying up every bottle of water they could. And that's even when the scientists have told us that, you should drink water out of plastic bottles because the plastic is bad for you. So then why not take a glass and just get it out of the spigot?
I don't know.
The reasoning.
You talk to 10 different people about this crisis, and you're going to get 10 different points of view. You're going to get 10 different ways that they're reacting and responding to it. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to explain people's actions through all of this. I think people
Right.
start kind of they start to get a little, I don't know, I guess stressed out, and then you just kind of lose control of your emotions and your behavior. I don't know, but
I think it's a matter of just kind of where the priorities are. I mean, I understand when there's a storm, people will run to the hardware stores and they'll buy up plywood and they'll buy up nails and stuff to protect their homes. But I would have thought, I mean, you could walk into any grocery store right now. You cannot find toilet paper. You can't even find Kleenex. The water is usually gone. The other thing is eggs seem to be disappearing quickly. But you can go over the fresh produce, and there is vegetables and fruit galore, all you want. And I would have thought that people would start hoarding up perishable foods. Get it while we can have it and eat it, and it's gone. But
yeah,
I guess what you're saying is it's kind of a mindset. When one person says, I better grab all the toilet paper I can get because we might run out, then all of a sudden somebody else sees that and says, I better react the same way.
yeah,
So,
right.
and then look at all
that's exactly what I think. Like I said,
we got all these industries now where even home industries as well as major corporations that are now spending a lot of time collecting all the fabric that they can to make face masks. From small communities right up to 3M up in Minnesota has curtailed a lot of their production of other products just to make face masks.
Yeah. Yep. That's another thing that I don't know if that's going to continue, but as I've been out and about just periodically, I'm seeing more and more people wearing face masks.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I didn't see it.
I mean, I do it when I go to the grocery store. I have a face mask, and Lauren has the little the gloves to put on. You still take the little thing, the container of the wipes to wipe off the grocery cart handle that you're pushing. You have to be cognizant of where we're at right now, and whoever says to us, okay, we're going to open up the economy by the end of the month, if you think that you're just going to go from being safe and doing things to maintain that safety to just saying, okay, I don't need the wipes anymore, I don't need the hand sanitizer anymore, everything's fine, we're going back to normal, I think you're in for I think we're going to have to continue to be prudent about this moving forward.
Absolutely. I think, and I would venture to say or guess that most people will do that. We'll continue with those types of new habits.
I would hope so. I think it's something that we share with our listening audience, is that if you've got ideas, let us know. We'll share those. But I think that if you think that it's going to be business as usual when this is all over, I don't think it's going to be business as we've known it. It's going to be business reinvented.
Yeah.
And that's going to be an important lesson.
I agree with you. I think so too. I mean, it's going to be a whole new way of living, a whole new world. But You were talking about the toilet paper, and I have to say some of the funniest posts or like memes or whatever have been about the toilet paper. It's been pretty funny. Like, there was one, it was like, in the year, I don't know, 2050 or something, little Johnny opened up the last roll of toilet paper that his parents bought in 2020.
2020. Yeah. Well, I posted one a few weeks ago. It showed if you want to increase the value of your property,
Yeah.
toilet paper your trees.
Yeah.
That instantly increases the value of your home. So
yeah, I saw that. That was a good one. There's another one like something like a conversation between a doctor and a gentleman or whatever. And he's like, Mr. Smith, I'm sorry to tell you that you've tested positive for COVID-19. And he's like, what? How is that possible? I have so much toilet paper.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, you got to keep a sense of humor through these times. And, a lot of these posts have at least, given you a quick little laugh in the moment. Right. And there was another real estate one that it was like the new closing remark for the real estate agent is, so can you see yourself being quarantined here?
Oh, okay. Yeah, yes, yeah. If you had to spend an extended period of time indoors, would this house work for you?
Instead of saying, so can you see yourself living here or whatever, can you see yourself making this your home? It's, can you see yourself being quarantined here? So,
right.
But yeah, my kids have been pretty good about sharing some of those funny things on our family text, or if I'm on Facebook, I come across them. My book club, we've stayed in touch. And we just had our Zoom book club yesterday. We were all on the screen talking.
Yeah, we're going to be doing one this evening.
Oh, yeah? With your family?
A discussion of a movie. No, actually, it's going to be a Zoom conference of people all over the country that are getting together and just discussing movies. And I know that they're doing that. There have been, quilting clubs. There was something that was posted about a quilting club, I think in Minnesota or something, where the women were all, they couldn't sit and work on the same quilt. So they all got on a Zoom and they could all see each other, and they were all looking at the different pieces that they're putting together, so that when they finally do get together physically, the quilt is basically going to be finished except stitching all of the pieces together.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
So I think people are sharing recipes that.
Yep.
I mean, anything that you can do in person, you really can do by video now.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I mean, even there was something that posted that a car dealership that can through the whole process. You can buy a car online. They have a camera or something at the dealership, and they can go into the car and show you all the aspects and the things about the car. And if you like it, they'll make you a good deal, and then they'll deliver the car to you.
We're never going to have to see each other again in person ever.
That's right. Or just see each other long enough to say, "Here's the keys to your new car. Thank you very much." Bye.
Exactly. Oh yeah, I it's going to be interesting to see how this evolves. And I know every state is different, every city, county, every individual. So it's going to be interesting to see, when we can finally move about freely, how we do so.
But I think
I would like to.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
The important thing, I think, is to get workers back to work.
Yes.
Right now, our first responders, our medical people are being taxed to the hilt and all. But I often think of those people who make their living in the hospitality industry. I mean, the hotels are if they are operating, they're operating at 10 or 20% occupancy. The people that work as servers in our restaurants have nothing to do. They were working basically for tips. And so their lives have been put on hold until they can get to the point where they can get back to work. Our stores, all of these mama papa shops that rely on the public to keep them in business. They're having to either reinvent what they're doing, and again, posting some of their products on video to see if someone who will buy it, and then they can pack it up and mail it or deliver it. We are that. I was thinking of that word re dash. We are reinventing ourselves. We are revisiting things. We are repurposing. We are rebranding. We are going through all of this because it's what we need to do in order to keep our economy going in whatever way, shape we can until it gets back to whatever the new normal is going to be.
Yeah.
No doubt that the new normal is going to be a lot different from what our old normal, looked like.
And you know what? Maybe our new normal will be better than what our old normal used to be.
I hope so, because what we're going through right now, hopefully, is going to lay for a new foundation for what we do going forward.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully during this time, we're becoming more knowledgeable. We're growing. We're learning. We're becoming stronger and smarter. And I don't know, hopefully moving forward, we'll be able to walk away from this with better things to come ahead, whatever that might be. I'm just saying, wouldn't that be, I mean, I know people keep saying, I want to get back to the way things used to be, but maybe that's not what realistic to think, and maybe that's not what we should do. Maybe we need to, like you were saying, kind of learn from this experience and then, move forward in a different way that might be a better way than what we've been doing before in all aspects of life.
Yeah, and I also hope that going forward that we will have a new fonder appreciation and respect for our family, our friends, our neighbors. When we go out for a little walk around our neighborhood, we're waving to our neighbors that we've seen on the path before, but we never said hello. Now, how are you? You doing okay? That's great. I have immediate neighbors. If I'm going to the grocery store and I see a neighbor, I'm going over to Kroger. Is there anything that you need? I can look for it and pick up for you. We are opening up our lives to those around us, and I hope that we don't lose that. And when this is over, we all just go into our separate little homes and we don't talk to each other and we don't interact anymore. Because what we're learning from this, I hope we will carry forward into our homes, our neighborhoods, our communities, and all make us all. I'm sounding like a preacher here, but
no, I hear you. I mean,
it's an important.
It's kind of like after 9/11, how we kind of came together as a community, or but. And that lasted a good long while, and to some degree, it still exists. Obviously, in the early stages following 9/11, it was more noticeable, and I think it will be in this case as well too. But as anything, as time goes on, right? Sometimes you just kind of naturally slip into your old, but. Maybe not. This is a different scenario, different circumstances, and I agree with you. I do think that because this is like more physical. I don't know. You know what I mean? This is I think those habits will. I really do think continue. Most people with both people, and the whole handshake thing. I've heard businessmen even say, "Oh, the days of handshaking are over." I don't know. I mean, temporarily, yeah. Short term, long term, I don't know.
Yeah,
again, like I said, if we can get to that point where we are managing this virus without the fear, I think emotions will subside a little bit. I hope.
Yeah, and I think now is the time to start thinking. It's just Lauren and I in our house, but you have got 2 or 3 kids are in the house with you. Matt is coming over by himself with a girlfriend. Your folks are going to be in town. You've got the family unit is a little bit closer now. And we've got to start thinking now about what's it going to be like when Phil goes back to his office and your parents are back on their own. The kids are back in school. And now you get up in the morning and maybe all it is you and your cup of coffee, where it was chaos around you. And now it's going to go back to less chaos. Plan for it now. Start thinking about it now. The other thing that this has allowed us to do is, well, for one thing, Lauren has made up a nice, honey-do list of things to accomplish. And what I'm seeing around the neighborhood is a lot of people are trimming their bushes and they're cutting the grass and they're doing a little bit of landscaping because they want to get out of the house, but they have to stay close to the property. So that's something else that we hope will carry forward. We'll just become a little bit more aware of our surroundings. Yep. You got a beautiful tree right behind you, so it's a.
I do. A lot of trees, which, yeah, I agree. Like paying more attention to your house, your property, taking care of it because you're, using it more. And so, yeah, much greater appreciation for maybe the things in your life that otherwise just went kind of just unnoticed because they were just expected to be there for you. And now they're there for you, your shelter and your whatever, and now you are so much more aware of it and appreciative. And so, yeah, all of those types of behavior and ways of thinking, I would hope would continue on as we continue on, however that's going to be.
Yeah. And
whenever that's going to
be. And on that note, I hope that we will just continue on doing our shows. And if we have to do them video wise, fine. And if eventually we end up back in the studio, that'll work too.
I'll fix my hair next time.
I like the casual look.
This is my quarantine.
That's yes, and this is my quarantine do too. I
don't know what's going on here, but whatever. It's okay. It's all good.
But well, it's been great spending the hour again with you, and for the folks that have been watching the show and all, we wish you the best. Stay healthy. Stay safe. Enjoy this really ordered time together, and make it the most you can make it. And when it's all over, continue to make it that way too. So the best to your family, the best to our audience that's watching and everything. The best to Mark for producing the show this way. Just great to be together again, and you be safe and be well.
You too. Take care, everybody.
All right, we'll see you next week. Again, something to talk about.